it looks like there was never a version of the plan where Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were going to attend this wedding.
She is pissed and very humiliated at this point because every outlet out there wrote about how she and Ryan Reynolds were absent from Taylor Swift's wedding.
Here's the latest buzz. Reports claim Blake Lively is deeply upset after not being included in what many are calling Taylor Swift's wedding guest list. According to the rumors, Taylor's ceremony took place just a short walk from Blake's home, with more than 1,000 guests reportedly invited, yet Blake was allegedly not among them. Sources further claim Blake had been hoping the two could eventually repair their friendship. However, they say the wedding sent a very different message. Instead of addressing the situation publicly, Taylor is said to have made her position clear through her actions by hosting such a large celebration so close to Blake's home while allegedly leaving her off the guest list. According to those reports, many now see it as a sign that any chance of reconciliation has completely faded.
Everyone noticed they weren't there, and that's the kind of public embarrassment you will never forget.
Almost every major celebrity was reportedly invited to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding. But one person who was noticeably missing from the guest list was Taylor's former best friend, Blake Lively. According to sources close to Taylor, she's in a completely different place in her life now, and only wants to surround herself with people she genuinely trusts, and those who bring her happiness and peace. What's surprising is that Taylor and Blake spent years appearing inseparable. Fans watched their friendship grow and believed they would remain close forever. But according to insiders, that's no longer the case. They claim Taylor has accepted that the friendship has reached its end and has no intention of looking back. Sources say there was a time when Taylor honestly believed the two would eventually work things out. She reportedly thought that once the public drama settled down, they would be able to move past everything and rebuild the friendship they once had. Instead, more issues continued to surface, and each new situation reportedly pushed them even further apart. According to those familiar with the situation, it wasn't one dramatic incident that destroyed the relationship. Instead, it was a long series of disappointments and misunderstandings that slowly piled up over time. By the time the lawsuit, the leaked text messages, and the public controversy unfolded, many believed the friendship had already suffered too much damage to recover. Those events simply became the final chapter in a relationship that had been falling apart for quite some time. When Taylor began planning what many consider one of the biggest days of her life, sources claim she became very selective about the people she wanted standing beside her. They say she wanted the celebration to be peaceful, joyful, and completely free of unnecessary drama. According to those reports, she ultimately decided Blake was no longer someone she wanted included in such a personal milestone. Insiders describe the wedding as a major turning point, because planning an event like that often makes people realize who truly belongs in their inner circle. They claim Taylor carefully thought about every invitation, and ultimately concluded that Blake simply wasn't part of the future she envisioned. To many observers, that decision spoke louder than any public statement ever could. Another theory circulating online has also attracted attention. Some commentators have speculated that Taylor and Travis may eventually sell or license footage from their wedding to a streaming platform or documentary producer, although there is no public confirmation that such plans exist. If that were ever the case, some believe keeping the guest list limited to trusted people would make complete business sense and help avoid any potential complications. Supporters of that theory argue that after the months of headlines surrounding Blake's public dispute with Justin Baldoni, Taylor may have wanted to eliminate even the smallest possibility of additional controversy surrounding her wedding. Whether that speculation is accurate remains unconfirmed, but many online continue to debate it. One thing is clear. According to these reports, Blake's absence has become one of the most talked about stories surrounding the wedding, leaving many convinced that this friendship has reached a point of no return.
Ongoing dispute.
I saw some pretty compelling theories that it's like more like Travis was the one who pushed to cut the friendship.
Travis Kelce's role in all of this has been extremely protective of Taylor throughout this entire situation, and sources are saying that he was furious about the threats from Blake and Ryan's lawyers. He is a loyal guy who has absolutely no way he would accept their friendship now because he could not believe that these people were threatening his future wife. Travis is not the kind of person who plays Hollywood games or worries about celebrity politics. He is straightforward and loyal, and when he sees someone threatening the person he loves, He is going to speak up about it, and that is exactly what he did, because any person who sees their partner threatened with having their text released would speak very clearly to them about the situation. And Travis is not going to pretend that is okay just because those people are famous. Sources say Travis told Taylor things like these people are trouble and is that how friends treat each other, and he cut through all of the celebrity sucking up that goes on in Hollywood to give her advice about who she should and should not have in her life. And that kind of straightforward honesty is exactly what Taylor needed to hear in that moment.
To me, this definitively proves not only is there beef, but something bad happened. And the reason I say this is because you don't do that to somebody when they were this close.
Now here's the part that many people believe completely changed everything. According to sources familiar with the situation, the biggest turning point came after the text messages and legal filings became public. They claim Taylor Swift didn't fully understand what had been happening behind the scenes until the lawsuit was filed and the supporting documents began circulating. Those same sources say that once Taylor reviewed the allegations and the information that surfaced, her perspective reportedly changed. One insider compared the situation to standing by a close friend during what appears to be a very painful experience. Naturally, most people would offer support, defend that friend, and do everything possible to help them through a difficult time. But the source went on to say that if you later discovered the story wasn't what you had been led to believe, the feeling of betrayal would be overwhelming. According to these reports, that's exactly how Taylor allegedly felt. She had reportedly supported Blake because she believed her friend was dealing with a serious situation. However, after the lawsuit and related documents became public, sources claim Taylor felt she had been misled and unknowingly drawn into a controversy she never expected. They say that realization changed everything and ultimately became one of the biggest reasons their friendship could no longer be repaired.
There was the threat that Taylor would be brought up in court or that all their text messages forever would be released and all this kind of stuff.
Once Taylor saw the text messages and understood exactly how Blake had been talking about her behind her back and using her name and music in her lawsuit against Justin Baldwin, that was the moment when everything changed, and there was no going back from that kind of betrayal, because the text showed that Blake had been saying things about Taylor that Taylor would never have said about anyone she actually considered a friend. People are saying that Blake could have stopped the text from being leaked at any time, but she did not, which means she made the choice to expose Taylor's private conversations to the world, and that is not something you do to someone you actually care about. And Taylor finally understood that Blake was never really her friend at all. The foolishness of threatening a friend by demanding support or threatening to release 10 years' worth of text messages is wild. And if you are Blake Lively, I guess you are pretty clueless about how real friendship works, because real friends do not use their private conversations against each other. And real friends do not drag each other into unnecessary lawsuits.
This isn't about logistics or capacity. If Blake is left off the list, it's personal. That friendship was over before, but if there was hope, it's gone. They'll never be friends again.
According to reports, Blake was still hoping she would somehow receive an invitation to Taylor Swift's wedding. Sources even claim she had a custom Dior dress prepared in advance, believing there was still a chance Taylor might change her mind before the big day. If true, it suggests she held on to that hope until the very last moment. Insiders say having a custom-made gown ready wasn't a last-minute decision. It reportedly reflected months of believing she might still be part of the celebration despite signs suggesting otherwise. Blake allegedly felt that the years she and Taylor spent as close friends would ultimately outweigh everything that had happened between them. However, sources claim things unfolded very differently. Instead of receiving an invitation, Blake was forced to accept that their shared history wasn't enough to repair the relationship. According to those close to the situation, Taylor had already reached her decision and wasn't interested in reopening the door to the friendship. Reports also suggest Taylor believed she had been used during the controversy surrounding Blake. And insiders say that realization became a major reason she chose to move on. They claim that once trust is broken, even years of friendship may not be enough to rebuild what was lost. If the reports about the custom Dior dress are accurate, many commentators believe it has now become a symbol of the expectations Blake held onto but never saw fulfilled. Sources say that's why her exclusion from the wedding has reportedly been so emotional for her. To many observers, the guest list itself sent the clearest possible message. By holding a wedding just a short distance from Blake's home, inviting more than 1,000 guests, and still reportedly leaving her off the list, Taylor's actions have been interpreted by many as confirmation that the friendship has come to an end with no path back.
With celebrities.
It is very sad to think that like your best friend of a decade, the godmother of your children, gets married, and not only are you not invited, but everyone in Hollywood is invited.
You're the only person who's
like
not
you're
there.
the only person who's not there.
Imagine watching your best friend of more than a decade, the godmother of your children, celebrate one of the biggest days of her life while nearly all of Hollywood is invited. Except you. That's the story fueling the latest wave of speculation surrounding Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. According to reports, Blake's absence from the wedding has become more than just a missing invitation. It has been interpreted by many as the clearest sign, yet that their friendship is truly over. Sources claim Blake's once powerful Hollywood circle has been shrinking for months. Fans have noticed that fewer A-list stars are appearing alongside her at premieres and red carpets. At this year's Met Gala, Anne Hathaway was one of the only major celebrities photographed with Blake, while familiar faces like Hugh Jackman and Anna Wintour have reportedly not been seen publicly with her in recent months. Online commentators argue that Hollywood runs on relationships, and when those connections begin disappearing, people start paying attention. Insiders also claim the biggest damage isn't related to lawsuits or movie roles, but to the loss of trust. They say Blake losing Taylor's friendship may have become the most painful consequence of all, because some relationships simply can't be replaced, regardless of fame or success. Another detail adding fuel to the conversation is the wedding itself. Reports claim Taylor chose to celebrate at Madison Square Garden, a venue frequently mentioned in legal filings connected to Blake's ongoing dispute. Some commentators believe the location, combined with a guest list of more than 1,000 people that allegedly excluded Blake, was a message delivered through actions instead of words. Whether intentional or not, many fans have interpreted it as confirmation that there is no path back for the friendship. Meanwhile, Blake and Ryan Reynolds were reportedly spending the wedding weekend away from the celebration, further fueling speculation that the relationship between Taylor and Blake has completely ended. At the same time, insiders have continued circulating claims that the pressure from lawsuits, financial setbacks, and relentless media attention has placed increasing strain on Blake and Ryan's marriage. Some have even speculated about possible divorce rumors, although none of those claims have been confirmed. Those rumors have only intensified because critics argue the couple's recent public appearances appear carefully orchestrated. According to online speculation, paparazzi photos showing the pair smiling together look more like planned image management than spontaneous moments. Supporters disagree, but many observers believe the more the couple tries to project a perfect image, the more people question what's really happening behind the scenes. Ryan, once praised for his effortless humor and sharp public image, has also found himself facing criticism from commentators who believe the couple's publicity strategy has become increasingly transparent. They argue that constantly trying to prove everything is fine has only invited more scrutiny instead of ending it. Adding even more intrigue, reports claim Blake continued hoping for a last-minute wedding invitation and had even prepared a dress for the occasion. Whether those stories are accurate or not, many believe they highlight just how much she expected the friendship to survive despite everything that had happened. For many watching this unfold, the story has become much bigger than celebrity gossip. It's now a conversation about loyalty, trust, public image, and the price of broken relationships. In Hollywood, careers can recover, headlines eventually fade, and controversies move on. But when the people who once stood closest quietly walk away, that may be the loudest message of all.